The night before, I had ridden late into the afternoon, nearly until dark, as I struggled to find a place where I felt comfortable camping. But eventually one appeared, an abandoned two-track that guided me roughly 2 kilometers inland onto a hill above Catumbo. On sandy soils, below widely spaced palms and almost no understory, I settled in beside what appeared to be a former sandpit. The following morning, I descended quickly, closing the small gap to Catumbo itself. There, I stopped at a bakery, where nearby a young man was asleep on a bench, no doubt recovering from a story the night before, if he could remember it. Not long after, I pushed beyond town and continued through open spaces that would eventually lead me to the outskirts of Luanda, the capital of Angola. That was the goal for the day: close the gap to the capital, settle into a guest house that I was already in communication with, then bring my bicycle the next day to a bike shop that was expecting me, where they would repair a broken spoke on my rear wheel. What remained was to ride into the city itself and continue toward the center of Luanda, where traffic usually slowed and people generally became more considerate around a bicycle. The infrastructure itself was mostly intact, damaged at times certainly, but nothing like Conakry or Accra. Occasionally, on slower climbs, I took refuge on sidewalks, but otherwise the transition was surprisingly comfortable. And then there it was, the skyline of Luanda. I climbed one more hill to a view above the bay, then tucked briefly behind a truck as the city pulled me inward. And before long, I was there, moving through downtown Luanda toward people who at that moment were still strangers to me. But all that would change over the next few days.